Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alina. I'm from Gymnasium number 1, Form 8B. Today I'm going to present my research work, The Reflection of Historical and Cultural Heritage through Street Names, Toponyms of Austerlitz. Do we often think about the meaning and origin about street names in the place where we live? However, there are streets in our town that got their names due to their own street life, those that reflect local geography, activity of prominent countrymen, or the memory of our heroic past. This is the reason why we became interested in studying the toponymy of the streets in Austerlitz. The origin of the street names of our hometown is also interesting to us from the linguistic point of view. We will try to define basic tendencies in the process of street naming. The significance of the research is determined by the fact that only through the acquaintance with the history of our homeland one can feel pride of living here, realize what was happening and what is happening, and that is an integral part of our history and identity. The object of the research is the names of streets in Austerlitz. The subject of the research is the toponymical features of town streets names. The study aims at determining the toponymical and linguistic features and tendencies of naming streets in our town, and to create an interactive map application for visitors and residents of our district. The aim of the research has identified the following methods. You can see them on the screen. While solving the above-mentioned problems, we use the following methods: study historical and biographical literature, linguistic analysis, classification and rating, and opinion poll. Hypothesis is to prove that the origin of street names of our town reflect local, culture, social and historical events, everyday life, keep the memory of its heroic past, and is connected with great contribution of our prominent countrymen. So street names can raise as many questions as they can solve. In addition, we conducted a survey among students of gymnasium. According to it, we have learned that about 24% of respondents know why the streets where they live has a certain name. About 28% of respondents suppose but can't say for sure about it. And the remaining 48% of respondents have no idea on this point. Sounds like a good starting point for a study. Why did this or that name appear? What are linguistic principles of street naming? All these concepts are studied by the science of toponymy. The word toponymy is of Greek origin. It consists of two words, topos, place, and onyma, name. So toponymy, the science studying the proper names of different geographical places, like mountains and rivers, streets, towns, cities, and countries. Street names refer to microtoponyms. Toponyms of town streets can be called the mirror of local history. According to the principles of street names proposed by Smolitska, we try to develop our own toponymical classification of streets naming in our town. In Austerlitz and its suburbs, we can find about 81 streets, 14 lanes, and 1 avenue. The origin of street names can be divided into 7 groups. 12% of streets are associated with ideology and political symbols of Soviet history, like Volodarsky, Karl Marx streets, Lenin Street, and Sovetskaya Street. 18% of streets are connected with geographical direction and location. Береговая, Восточная, Набережная, Бабанишки, Slobodka, Belkishki streets point out to the location and settlements which have recently been included into the town area. 25% of streets are connected with nature phenomena demonstrating the amazing nature of our homeland. Dubravная, Ryabinovaya, Kvetkovaya, Polevaya streets are located in those areas of the town that have recently been outskirts of Austerlitz, where private and new residential areas have been built. 4% of streets remind us about the Great Patriotic War, like Третьего Липеня, Независимости streets. This group also includes streets named after the defenders of Austerlitz and Belarus during the Great Patriotic War, like Ushakevich, Markov, Gimbitsky, Stashkevich. The majority of streets, 27%, are named after prominent people of Belarus, 17%, and Russia, 10%. They are devoted to revolutionary and war heroes, Kalinovsky-Kolbushkin streets, poets and writers, Yanka Kupala, Yanka Belina, Korotkevich, Lermontov, Pushkin streets, enlighteners and scientists, Kazimir Svoyak, Francis Karenin, Lomonosov streets, prominent politicians who created the history of Soviet Union, Karl Marx, Engels, Kalinin streets. In the 1670s, it was popular to name the streets after prominent cosmonauts, so Gagarin and Komarov streets appeared in Austerlitz as well. About 11% of streets are dedicated to the professional sphere and enterprises located nearby, like Aerodromная, Промышленная, Meliorativная, Школьная, Строительная streets and Energetikov Avenue. Linguistic analysis shows that street names of our town are made up of 59% of adjectives, 9% of nouns, and 32% of proper names. Nouns are mainly used in genitive form. Proper names are expressed only by male nouns. So we come to conclusion that we live in a small town with rich history and we're proud of its history. It reflects the lives of the legendary countrymen who made a significant contribution and inscribed their names into the history of our homeland. Walking along the beautiful and green streets in Austerlitz, you not but pay attention to their names. Volodarsky, Komarov, Kalinovsky, Gimbitsky, Evseev and others. What did they do to deserve this honor? The practical value of our work is that thanks to our study of the toponymy of Austerlitz, we have created an interactive web application for our town guests and residents who may be interested in the origin of the street names where they live. The application in English can be found via a link. With the help of it, you can find photos and data about those prominent people, events and places the names of our town are connected with. Here you can find photo and data about Kalinovsky. There is also the map application in Russian for those who don't know English. Except reading, you can watch videos about prominent countrymen. You see, it is very easy to use. It looks something like that. Our hypothesis was to prove that the origin of the street names of our town reflects culture, social events related to everyday life or carry the memory of the heroic past and it is connected with great contribution of our prominent countrymen. We have come to conclusion that our hypothesis has been confirmed. The analysis of these toponyms reveals that the choice of street names, lanes and other objects of the town is not occasional. It is connected with the mentality of the residents, the future of its location and correspondence to the spirit of each epoch throughout the history.